Nicole had messaged Kuzuhamon hoping to get an answer from her, and was in his old room with Kulamon waiting for a response. They'd rested there for a while before finally getting an answer saying that she was somewhere that she'd never been, giving a description of the area which matched part of the city, and so Nicole prepared to go out and find them. Going downstairs, our main Digidestin said that he was going to find a couple of friends that were in the city with Kulamon riding on his shoulder. His sister asked if it was a good idea to take Kulamon, but he tells her that they're his partner, so they need to go too. This confused his sister since she didn't quite understand, but they headed on out. Kuzuhamon and Sistermon Noir were getting strange looks because of their outfits, but they could at the very least pass as human, thankfully. As the two of them were walking around trying to find out what's going on, with Nicole messaging Kuzuhamon telling her to stay put and he'd come get them. This was a good thing because the humans around them were acting kinda weird. It didn't take long for Nicole to find them since they were in his city and he knew it well, and he'd began to lead the way back home away from the area they were in, which honestly wasn't a friendly part of town. Along the way they encountered a gang of street thugs who wanted to have some fun with the girl, saying they should ditch the loser and join them. That made the girls uncomfortable. Kuzuhamon said that she wasn't interested and Nicole warned the gang to back off. When they asked just what they'd do about it, he then digivolved into Shadanekomon, with Sistermon Noir changing into her awakened form, and both of them pointed their guns at the gang before firing at their feet, making them run off, and they laughed before Nicole then led them back to his house. Going on in, Nicole called out that he was back and he'd brought company, which made his mother and sister come out to see what's going on, finding whom they thought were human at first, seeing the two girls that Nicole had brought home with him. Our main Digidestined then introduced Kuzuhamon to his mom and sister, telling them that she is his girlfriend and that Sistermon Noir was a friend of theirs. They looked surprised hearing Kuzuhamon was his girlfriend, and it was a little awkward with Nicole going on to explain that both Kuzuhamon and Sistermon Noir were Digimon like Kulamon, and his Shadanekomon form that he could change into. His sister said that they looked human, and Sistermon Noir says some Digimon do appear human, as they take many different forms. Some are beasts, some are plants, and some are machines too. Nicole nodded in response to that, saying that he's met a lot of different Digimon, including Punjamon, who is a white lion man Digimon, surprising his family, hearing that they could look like that. They'd heard Noir's stomach growl, and she looked awkward about it, though Nicole said that lunch does sound good right about now. Anyway, his sister suggested that maybe they could take them shopping to find something that will help them fit in better, though Nicole told her they won't remove their masks. It does sound like a good idea. They'll go eat and then take them shopping for something to help them blend in a little better. And so they went off to a fast food place. Since the Digimon didn't know what food was on the menu, our main Digidestined helped them order something and got something small for Kulamon too. Some people thought Kulamon was a pet or a toy, but Nicole had warned them to go away and leave them alone. And most did, though there was of course an entitled brat not listening, and their mother wasn't any better. Sistermon Noir pointed her gun at the woman, telling her to go away and making them run off. The two had come back with the cops, intending to get them arrested for having a gun pointed at them, but Nicole told the cop that those guns are a part of Noir, and they started it by not listening to him, telling them to go away. They were still gonna arrest them for it, but they'd heard a loud crash from outside, and the group turned towards the crashing sound, seeing a big knight in silver armor with a giant sword slamming it onto the car that had crashed into them and making the driver run off. Nicole said that it looks like they're on, and the Digimon nodded, with all four of them running out, ignoring the cop that was trying to arrest them. The Digimon that was attacking called herself Nightmon and demanded that the rogue Digimon come out immediately, as they heard gunfire and see their head being knocked back slightly before looking up, and we see Shadanekomon pointing one of his guns at them, and the barrel was still smoking. Nightmon demanded that they return with him to the digital world to face judgment from Yggdrasil, and maybe their lord will be merciful to them and grant them a just punishment for going against them and becoming rogue by entering the human world without their order. Though in response, Nicole shot them in the head again, as their answer getting a serious look in his eyes. Sistermon Noir told Nightmon that they didn't willingly come to the human world. It was an accident, while changing into her awakened form. The cops had shown up, and Nicole sighed in annoyance as Kuzuhamon told them that they needed to step back because it's dangerous. The cops told them that they would handle these monsters and pointed their guns at them. Nightmon swung his sword, slashing a cop car in two and warning them not to interfere, as they all began shooting at them, but their weapons were having no effect on them, and Kulamon's gem began glowing while he was shaking and scared of all the guns and loud noises and the like, making a barrier of red crystals around himself and the other Digimon while crying out, "Crystal barrier!"